Hello everyone, welcome to Perseverance IAS. Today is September 29th, Wednesday. If you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications by clicking on the bell icon. Please do like the video and do share the video, and please do leave a comment below. Now moving on to the first article for today that you have to read in the Hindu newspaper for competitive exams. Rocky road for RTI activists in Bihar, 20 killed in past 11 years. Again, I don't know whether this is important or not for the exam, but this number is a little bit of a worrisome for the safety of activists. These are the areas where a lot of discussion does indeed takes place. So from exam perspective, I don't know whether this is important or not, but I thought it would be a good thing to read a bit about it. Now moving on to, so before going into editorial, Kejriwal launches ambitious Desh Bhakti curriculum. Please read what this Desh Bhakti curriculum is, how different it is, what is the tenets that they are intending to teach to children in this curriculum. So again, sometimes certain questions might be asked from unknown corners, kind of a deal. That is why please do read this article. Coming to page 6, editorial, tackling the Maoists. Again, this is about internal security. This is about Naxalism. Anything related to internal security, particularly recently, Home Minister had a meeting with the heads of states that are affected by Naxalism, where a lot of points have been discussed as to how to develop that region and how to tackle Naxalism. From that perspective, this article is very important. Again, I repeat, if any question is asked regarding Naxalism or terrorism in India, try to highlight that area, draw a map of India, highlight that area and put that map in a box. That will certainly help you in adding value to your answer. Now, the next is NEET Fails, the multidimensional construct of merit. So again, this is an article that talks about why NEET is not as successful as it should have been, particularly in the context of Tamil Nadu. Just read it. There are 2 or 3 points that are a little bit important, but most of it most of it is not necessary for your examination, because we are not making opinions here. We are here to use facts to either give both sides of the story. So again, skip this article if you could, skip it. Now moving on, Germany as a development actor in a post-Merkel era. Now again, this might not be an important for exam perspective, but this will certainly give you an understanding of how the German Chancellor Angela Merkel operated kind of all these years, right? Particularly, and how Germany should change its role in the world order. I think this is a good article to read to understand the nuances of German polity. Please do read it. Exam perspective, not important again, but read it. You will understand what I am talking about here. Now moving on to op-ed, how to grease the wheels of justice. Again, this is in regards to backlog of cases in Indian judiciary. Read what they are trying to say here. Try to understand what are the possible solutions the authors of this article suggested. Again, use your discretion and take what is necessary and discard that isn't necessary. Now again, this is a kind of important for exam, so from that perspective, please do read this article. In Pursuit of Happiness, just read it. Apart from it, don't just take the United Nations World Happiness Report of 2021. Apart from it, I don't see much, so don't worry. Now this is another article that needs a little bit of consideration. Bureaucracy's digital challenge. So again, should civil services, see, you are going to be a civil service officer, you are preparing for competitive exams, of all, you people are going to be civil servants one day. So whether you should use social media or not is the discussion of this topic. From that perspective, please do read this article. This talks about privacy, this talks about anonymity, this talks about the role of bureaucracy in Indian system. So from that perspective, please do read this article. This gives 2 or 3 good points. I think worth it to read it. Now moving on to page number 8. Lockdowns slowed green energy push. Again, this talks about how lockdowns have slowed renewable energy installations in the country. From that perspective, please do read this article. Students in Afghanistan seek visas. Again, not important for exams. Just an update on what is the current scenario in terms of Afghan students, right? Just read it once. Exam perspective, not important. Now moving on. Defense Ministry issues order for OFB dissolution. Learn what dissolution is, what OFBs are, how they have been functioning, what would be the impact of it. From that perspective, please do read this article. Now moving on, double-digit growth likely this year and next. Sanjeev Sanyal. Again, understand what are the factors that might lead to growth in double-digit growth. Again, informative. Read it from that perspective. Now moving on to next page. India has created jobs during pandemic FM. So yesterday we studied an article of employment rates increase in employment rates according to quarterly survey. So from that perspective, please do read this article. Again, anything related to employment or unemployment is significant. Understand what they are trying to say here and be very impartial in picking out the numbers. Now moving on to page number 10. Again, this is very important. Schools can reopen in phases, ICMR. Children's education, a lot of discussion around whether school should stay open or closed, whether parents should send kids to their schools or not. Exam point of view, not much important, but having an understanding as to what is the problems with COVID-19, or at least one of the problems with post-pandemic world, this article will certainly help you to give an understanding. Now moving on, SC not to hear plea on non-COVID patient rights. So what are these non-COVID patient rights? Just read it. Apart from it, not important. Now moving on, SC lash out at firecracker firms. So what are the firecracker policies that Supreme Court came up with? What are green firecrackers? What are the chemicals used in firecrackers? Prelims perspective, environment perspective, what the Supreme Court is saying. From that point of view, please do read this article. Now moving on, Gadkari reviews Zojila tunnel work. Again, where is this tunnel? What is its significance? Given the current scenario, how important it is. From that perspective, please do read this article. Just a prelims perspective, infrastructure, Ladakh border infrastructure point of view. So again, from map point of view, know where this tunnel is. Moving on, SEBI clears norms for gold exchanges. So what are these gold exchanges? What are the norms that they are talking about? Again, just informative, exam point of view, not important. But coming to the next article, bank recapitalization can aid NARCL's success. What is the idea of bank recapitalization? Why it is important for banks to be recapitalized so that bad bank can success? Try to understand the link there. From that perspective, little bit of importance. Apart from it, half of the article you can kind of go through. Now moving on to world. Taliban to temporarily adopt 1964 monarchy constitution. Again, what is this monarchy constitution? Exam point of view, not important, but to be aware of what is going on or what is taking place in Afghanistan under Taliban, you have to read it. Now, Pakistan exploring expansion of CPEC to Afghanistan envoy. Again, this CPEC is something that you have to read because it passes through Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So read what they are saying here. Again, informative article, exam point of view, not important. Now moving on, China displays new drones, jets. Again, this is something of a show of strength. Informative, exam point of view, little bit not important, but nonetheless being aware is also helpful. Now these are the important articles that you have to read in the Hindu newspaper for competitive examinations. Thank you. Stay safe. Namaste.